They were good boys. It might do you some good to get out of the house. I'm worried about you, friend. I wish you'd let me pay for the funeral. Give Jack and Benny a nice send-off. I could talk to Father Vincent, I'm sure.
Why? So people could shove tissues in my face and tell me it was God's will. I don't need a public display to mourn my boys.
Oz has been coming around the store a lot lately. Says you won't speak to him and barely look him in the eye.
Oswald has always been so goddamn needy. I had made peace with it. I did. That he was different. But now, what he's done, I keep.
What he's done? Friend?
I found this in his coat.
He
was with him, Rex. He lied to me. He came home acting all sad, like he was the victim, but he knew. My babies were drowning in those tunnels, and he didn't say a goddamn word. He had every goddamn chance to say something, to do something, anything, to stop it.
He's a kid.
He locked them inside. The room where they found him, the cops told me they had to pry the fucking door open to reach him. If I had known if he had, I could have saved them, they'd be here with me right now. But Oswald didn't want that, no. This is what he wanted, me, all to himself. I got the devil in my house, Rex. What the hell am I supposed to do?
There are a couple different ways to handle this type of situation. If Oz is what you say, well, guys like him, they can serve a purpose. Go on to do big fucking things, especially in my line of work. But you gotta know how to control them. Most of the guys that come to me say they're looking to make money. Now, that's fine, but greed don't buy loyalty. Now, I want loyalty. I bring in guys who are looking for a father. Guys like that got a void to fill. They'll do anything for me. Now, Oswald, he don't need a father. He's got you. He's devoted to you. You can use that. Foster what he's got. Embrace it. Raise it. Maybe he'd be great. Or maybe not. I don't know. You have to bet on him to see.
You want me to look the other way? Ignore what he's done? What kind of mother would I be if I can't.
Well, then maybe you let him go.
I let him go. You mean? You'd be willing to help me with something like that?
Mom, I got dinner for you. You're up.
Get dressed. We're going out.
This one scene from the beginning of episode 8 of The Penguin tells you everything. you need to know about the kind of psychopath Oz will turn out to be at the end of the series. In the latest rendition of The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, which happens to be the bedrock of the show, Oswald Cobb, a.k.a. the Penguin, was still working his way up to his eventual kingpin persona. But here, we got to see what, or rather who, shaped him. At this point, it would be an understatement to say that the man had mommy issues because the series goes so much deeper into the demented psyche of the character and everyone around him, to the point where we can't even recognize the person we sympathized with in the beginning of the series. And not just because Colin Farrell is pretty much unrecognizable with his silicone prosthetics and gefilte fish accent. His ambition is rooted in a sinister compulsion to be liked. Not for what he is, though. I think he knows deep down that he's a monster and cannot be redeemed, at least in this life. He wants to be liked for what he wants to inspire. Just like the Batman with his covenant of vengeance, but with a far more twisted outlook. Because he'll do anything and everything for it. It is well known to anyone who has followed the Batman lore that his villains are, more often than not, representations of his own repressed dark side, which sets the Penguin up to be the perfect villain for the next Batman film. Because while the Riddler put the Batman's detective skills to the test, the Penguin would introduce him to the dirty world of politics, as evident from the final episode. Something our young Batman has yet to come to grips with. The series makes no qualms about the fact that we're dealing with an inherently evil character. Yes, we do see where he comes from and what he's been through and who he's doing all this for, but at the end of the series, when he kills Vic, his most trusted ally throughout the whole shebang, the feeling is not that of betrayal. Instead, we're almost compelled to say, of course, he's the Penguin. Why should anyone expect him to be anything different? The Penguin embodies everything that is wrong with the current state of affairs in the world. He has an overinflated Messiah complex, which is representative of a lot of eminent personalities from corporate and political spheres. It shows us that the lust for power doesn't end with a huge bank account, or access to women, or 100 plum-colored Maserati cars. The desire is more philosophical, more diabolical, more atypical. It's about wanting more. One of the key motivations for Oz wanting more from life is the humiliation he suffers on a daily basis due to how he appears to others. Everything, from his looks to his demeanor, screams disloyalty, which kind of makes us feel bad for him in the beginning, especially when we get to see his relationship with his mother Frances, who is suffering from dementia. Her influence on Oz is complex and cruel. She is, for all intents and purposes, an enabler. On the surface, she appears to love her son, but it's a conditional love because she knows exactly what he's capable of. Her love comes with strings attached. In her eyes, Oz is never quite good enough. She constantly compares him to his father, who didn't turn out to be much, and hates him for taking her back to Crown Point, the gutter from where they started, blaming him for reminding her of everything she lost. Let's have a look at this scene from episode 1.
Fine. Fucking last, baby. Alright. Now, can we go, please?
You laughed at you?
It was impulsive. It was stupid. Is that what you want to hear? Jeez, I'm trying to take care of you.
Stop.
I can't risk it. I can't risk you. I'm all you got. If something happened to me...
Stop talking.
Do you hear the words coming out of your mouth?
Yeah.
How weak they sound? Like a little pussy boy? Look at me. Is that what you are, Oswald? Weak little pussy boy?
No.
That's right. 'Cause you're mine. You're my big, strong bull of a boy. You never forget that. Come here. Don't you see, dear? What you did wasn't impulsive. It was instinctual. You shot that junky pisshead because you wanted to. Just like that. Oh, you're so close now. Having everything you ever wanted, everything you deserve. You want to run? You want to hide? No. This city is meant to be yours, sweetheart. What are you going to do to get it?
Oz internalizes this humiliation and turns it into fuel for his rise in Gotham's criminal underworld. Shot almost exclusively in extreme close ups, it's as if every sneer, every insult, every dismissive glance from his mother becomes a voice in his head whispering, "You'll never be enough for me." One of the most telling moments in the series comes when Frances discovers that Oz was responsible for his brother's deaths. When she admits to Rex Calabrese, a former gangster who Oz admired, her expression is one of cold recognition. She's horrified, yes, but there's a part of her that seems unsurprised, as if she's always known that there was something monstrous lurking beneath. Her declaration that he's the devil is an affirmation of everything Oz has been told throughout his life, that he's fundamentally irredeemable. And yet, after all this, Oz remains devoted to her, like a penguin. What's fascinating about this dynamic is how it mirrors Oz's broader relationship with Gotham itself. Just as his mother humiliated him while also offering him a place in her heart, Gotham humiliates him while also offering him the opportunity to rise. It's a city that chews people up and spits them out. And Oz, having been shaped by his mother, is uniquely suited to navigate its brutal landscape in the most extreme conditions, just like a penguin. Oz's relationship with Vic, his apprentice, is a study in indoctrination and manipulation. It seems like a typical mentor protege dynamic. The seasoned gangster taking a young and eager recruit under his wing. Oz wants him to be quick on his feet, just like he is, despite his club foot, and constantly reminds him that there's no place for errors in the game. But as the series progresses, it becomes clear that what Oz offers Vic is not guidance, but a carefully crafted narrative, a lie which is rooted in some truth that plays perfectly on Vic's insecurities and need for belonging. In this scene from the end of the first episode, Oz literally looms over his left shoulder like the devil himself, after Vic gets his first taste of violence by executing Oz's plan, and they both acknowledge how great it feels to break out of the mundane and mix the flavors, as it were. Vic's initial loyalty to Oz stems from admiration. He sees Oz as a self made man, someone who has clawed his way up from nothing to become a significant player in the game. But what Vic doesn't realize is that Oz's mentorship is not about empowering him, but about controlling him. Oz doesn't see Vic as a partner or an heir to his throne. He sees him as a tool, like everyone else, a mere pawn in his larger scheme. The tragedy of Vic's story is that he represents what Oz could have been. Vic is young, idealistic, and hungry for recognition. He is what Oz was, or at least what he thought himself to be, before years of humiliation. He molds Vic into a reflection of himself, a man driven by fear, ambition, and a desperate need for validation. It seems like Oz really cares for him, but at the end of the show, when Vic outlives his usefulness, Oz discards him without a second thought. It's a stark reminder of the lengths Oz will go to in his pursuit of more. He wants absolute control, and he's willing to destroy anyone who stands in his way, even someone who considers him to be family. In the ongoing feud between the Falcons and the Maronis, Oz navigates the treacherous waters by embracing deception. His relationship with Sophia Falcone is a prime example of how he constantly plays both sides to survive. At first glance, Sophia appears to be the one playing Oz. She seeks to restore the Falcone legacy and sees Oz as a useful ally to achieve her goal. But what she doesn't realize is that Oz is playing a deeper game. From the moment he gains her confidence, he knows their partnership is temporary. He acts the part of a loyal ally, all the while keeping his own interest in mind. Oz deceives Sophia by making her believe he's truly on her side. He helps her take down mutual enemies, attends her meetings, and offers strategic advice. But behind the scenes, he keeps his options open with the Maronis, feeding them just enough information to keep himself valuable. He tricks Sophia into believing it was the Maronis who killed her brother Alberto by first giving Salvatore his family ring back in the prison, which Alberto had seized, and then sending Sophia a fake message from the Maronis by delivering Alberto's dead body in a trunk with his finger cut off. His deception endures till their very last interaction as he drives her to an abandoned area. Drives her, just like the old days. Again, he tricks her into believing he's going to shoot her in the back of the head, only to leave her for the cops to arrest her. As she accepts her fate, we see this beautiful shot with a series of distant lights forming a bokeh effect to her right, as though the bullet has already fired through her head, leaving a trail, while in fact, it's nothing but a smokescreen, proving once again to her that he's capable of more. The show is a cautionary tale, which begs the question, how much exactly is more? Can you ever really measure it? And how far would you go to achieve it? In the end, Oz fully embraces his penguin persona, keeping his mother hostage and giving her exactly what she wanted in the most disturbing way imaginable: a lavish penthouse overlooking the cityscape with nothing to live for. It's even more disturbing to watch how he dresses up Eve, his lady friend, just like his mother, and vicariously seeks her approval for what he's done. Because he still thinks he deserves it. Because at the end of the day, living up to your reputation does come at a price. A price that keeps begging for more.